Greetings, my rare hunters. It is I, MariK. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. This time, we're playing something a little different. We went ahead and we got second today with this deck. We literally threw this deck together last night, me and a buddy of mine. We play tested with it. Playtesting went fine. Our matches today were pretty intense. Sadly, we ended up losing in finals and got second, but it's all good. We're going to showcase this deck anyways. This is one of probably my favorite deck that I have out of all 5 of them, out of the 4 that I've showed you guys so far. So first up, the Super Saiyan God Son Goku leader. Phenomenal ability. Every time he attacks, switch blue energy to active. Really allows you to reset your cards. When he awakens, you gain, if it's your turn, you have 5 or more energy. He gains plus 5,000. On top of that, when he attacks, you can switch up to 2 energy to active mode, which is freaking crazy. Now, aside from round 3 where we played against, aside from the final round where we played against Cell, we didn't go past turn 3. So, him gaining the plus 5,000 never happened. It was just kind of there for show, kind of like, if you let me get this far, if you actually live, he's going to be a bigger dude. Really not that big a deal, though. So, the first card we ran in this deck, of course, how could it not be? 4 Kind Saiyan Son Goku. If you don't know, when you play him, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, search for a blue Goku, add it to your hand. Playing him turn 1 was great if you went first. Playing him turn 1 if you went second was even better, because you could play him and then attack with the leader and reset the 1 energy you used. The main card we would search for with the Kind Saiyan Son Goku was Comrades Combined Son Goku. We play 4 of them. This card is fantastic. When you play him from anywhere, look at the top 7 of your deck, choose a blue Vegeta among them, 3 or less, and place it in rest mode on the board. The rest of the cards go to the bottom of the deck, which, fantastic card. There were a couple games where I didn't get a Vegeta, and it really sucked, but for the most part, I would usually get them. Ironically, I didn't get them when I played against Cell. That's part of, well, we'll get to that. And then, to add a few extra Gokus in the deck, we run 2 Mighty Attack Son Goku. He's got crit, which crit is really good. Being able to do that damage and not get them an extra card to be able to combo with or play next turn really helps out. And you can search him with Kind Saiyan Goku as well. More often than not, we would play Comrade Goku, but having the 2 Mighty Attacks was really good. Next up in the deck, we ran 4 Comrade Combined Vegeta. This card is amazing, especially in this deck. I was usually awakened by turn 2, because I would just let myself be awakened. And 9 times out of 10, no matter what deck I'm playing, I'm going to take all the hits until I awaken. I'm going to save my negates, save my combo stuff for later on, because at the beginning, you're just attacking me with smaller guys, and I don't really care. Unless you're attacking me with crit, then I don't really care, just stop it. But we run 4 of these Comrade Combined Vegeta. This card is amazing. 9 times out of 10, I was already awakened, so I could use my 2 energy, play him, attack, and then attack with the awakened Goku, reset the 2 energy, and I'd play another one. When all of your energy are blue, and this being a mono blue deck, when all of your energy are blue, you can drop him for 2. So 20,000 on turn 2 is ridiculous. We also run 4 blue Assailant Vegetas. It's another target for the Comrade Son Goku. And he also has crit. That's another card that your opponent does not want to get hit by, so they're probably going to negate it or combo out of it. And like I said, he's another target to get, so he's really good. And then we decided to run, because Vegeta has not the best like smaller cards. All the good Vegetas are, 5 or 6 energy. So we're running 2 of the vanilla 3-drop for 20. If the main reason I would use this is either to charge his energy, or with Comrade Combined Goku, if I search the top 7 and this was one of them, I was going to put this out because he's 20k. It's going to take a little bit to kill him, especially early game, and I don't have to waste a Comrade Vegeta that could potentially be killed. Now this is where the deck gets interesting, and this is where it catches a lot of people off guard. They see that Goku leader, and they expect that we're playing like blue ramp, or, you know, just like starter deck blue type stuff. And when we drop one of these lightning speed Vegitos, it catches the opponent off guard. We run 2. I know it takes away from it being mono blue, but you're never going to charge this, and it doesn't cost any red to play. It just costs 3 to Patara Union. So being able to drop him on turn 3 is amazing. But 9 times out of 10 you drop him on turn 4. We're actually I was considering putting in the 3rd one, and I think after today's games I'm gonna put in a 3rd one. Especially because putting in a 3rd one would allow us to bring out Bursting Energy Super Saiyan Vegito more. We run 4 of these because 1, foiling is just amazing. But even if you don't, you can union him for 4 energy, which is easily doable. He's got double strike. But the best part is his once per turn, you can place a card in your life, so you can awaken yourself, and then choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. Doing this, playing him, doing that, and then attacking with your leader, you reset all your energy. And you can just continue to go as aggressive as possible. And honestly, I think that's what makes this Vegito so great. And I've been saying since the very beginning, even before any of this new blue Vegito stuff was announced, that this Vegito is great. And this is definitely better than Repeated Force, especially for this deck. And to top off the Vegito theme, we run 3 Super Saiyan Blue Vegito the Savior. Honestly, I did not get to play this one time, because against Cell, he was blowing up my guys, and I didn't get to, wasn't able to keep the stuff on the board to drop him. You can Union Patara him for 5. He's got dual attack and critical, and when he attacks twice in the same turn, he gains double strike. So you're going to attack once for critical, you're going to attack a second time for critical and double strike. Like I said, all of our games didn't go long enough to really be able to play him, so I'm thinking about taking one of these out and putting in the 3rd lightning speed, because he's really nice late game and I love his ability, but 9 times out of 10 you're gonna win on turn 3. That's most of my games today didn't go past turn 3. When it comes to support for this deck, of course we're running 4 boost attack Piccolo, combo at 4 less life, blue leader, you draw a card and add 10,000. No reason not to. And as I've always said, I always love to run Raging Spirit Sun Gohan. Now I only run 3 in this deck. I was running 4, and 4 was helpful, but it kind of, there were times where I'm like, well, I don't necessarily need the 4th one. So running 3 of him, you combo for 1, you got a blue leader, he's going to come to your board in rested mode, and next turn is another guy to attack with, or if they're playing, if they blow up your guys a lot, it's another guy for them to have to get around. Probably one of the best cards in this deck, especially to combo with, was Unyielding Spirit Trunks. We run 4 of these, he's fantastic. During your turn, combo for free for 5,000, and reactivate one of your energy. Doesn't even have to be a blue energy. For this deck, it's always going to be a blue energy, but it allows you to make so many plays, and you can play so many more cards, especially when you combine it with the leader's ability. Lastly, as far as combo cards go, and this is the one that was probably the most interesting, we tested this deck with a few different sets of cards. We were going to add 2 of the new 3-drop Trunks that has critical and searches for a Vegito, a blue Vegito to be specific. But turn 3, I want to drop that Goku. I want to drop a Vegeta. The Trunks just wasn't favorable enough to play over those. So we took them out and instead run 2 Furthering Destruction Champa. Combo for 1, 10,000. And when you combo with him, the attacking card gains double strike. Your opponent doesn't see it coming, especially with it being a mono blue deck. And this caught so many people off guard. I actually won games because they thought I was only going to do 1 damage, and the double strike is what killed them. I'm not a big Champa fan, but that card, especially in this deck, was really good. And I can see him being really good in a lot of other decks, too. Last but not least, of course, we've got 4 Sensu Beans. Why not? And it goes along with resetting your energy. I could reuse my same energy probably 3 different times, and I did reuse the same 3 energy 3 sets of times because of this card, because of the Trunks, because of Goku's effect, because of Vegito's, and even the 4 Whis Coercion, because he's a free card, and so you can just keep your energy active. This deck attacks so hard. It's so aggro that you're winning by turn 3, 9 times out of 10. And sometimes you'll go past that, but usually you still have just cards and energy, and you have multiple battle cards on the board, and they can kill some of them, but they're not going to be able to kill all of them. The side deck, like every other time I've gone into a tournament, we throw the deck together the night before, we throw the side deck together at the event 5 minutes before round 1. The only card I sided in was for Mafuba. Especially with this deck, you can reset your energy so much. Go just ape shit aggressive and then have 2 energy to Mafuba. I used this against Cell. I didn't bother side decking against anybody else. This hurting Cell a lot. Of course, it doesn't stop you from having to discard if they do it, but a lot of, like, 5-drop Cell, 7-drop Cell, the 5-drop promo Cell, they all have double strike. This really helped to avoid that. And if they attacked with the 5-drop, which actually Mafuba the 5-drop twice in 1 game, and so they can't go into the 7-drop when they eventually draw it. Another card I sided more or less for Cell was 4-drop Whis, because he's got that indestructible, so he can't be KO'd by battle cards, or not by battle cards, by effects. And a 20k blocker, like, he's gonna live a lot of stuff. You can combo with him to even make him live against perfect Cell. But usually by turn 4, I was just doing, if I made it to turn 4, I was doing so much other stuff that I never put him in. I maybe should have against Cell, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. I don't know how that would have worked, to be honest. Next up, we've got 4 Sun Goten. Another really good card. I didn't really see a need to side deck it in. So against Cell, that's the only deck I sided against. It wouldn't have mattered, because the only thing I would have really blown up would have been a Dr. Shiro, and that's pointless. Because they're not going to leave a 3-drop Cell out. They're not even going to play it unless they can evolve it at least once, so that's kind of pointless. And we debated on this a lot for a while. I was kind of upset to not main deck it, especially since we can play it with any color combination. But we side decked 3 Patara, because Patara, it's a 4 cost, but it's one of the few cards that has no energy restriction. You know, a lot of cards, they have to have at least 1 blue or 2 blue, or, you know, this has none. So you can play this with any 4 cards. I don't main deck it because we didn't really have room for it, and we didn't need it. Again, by turn 4, we usually don't make it to turn 4. But against decks that I figured were stally, or that might make it, or that were going to blow up my guys a lot, I probably should have sided this against Cell. But at the same time, I'd have to have this in the hand, a Goku and a Vegeta, plus other stuff, and Cell, they're just going to drop the perfect Cell and rip my shit out of my hands. I still think it was a good, solid side deck option, but against Cell, it really wasn't worth using. I'm not sure what deck I would use it against, but, you know, if you came into a situation, I think it's a solid side deck card. Now, round 1, we played against Patrick that I actually playtested this deck with. He's the one that gave me the idea to run the Goku leader over the Vegito leader. I wanted to use the Vegito leader because Vegito has been one of my favorites since the Buu Saga. But honestly, the Vegito leader is trash, and it's not necessary. Like, we don't run repeated force either, because honestly, with this particular deck, you're not going to have a lot of Goku and Vegeta in the drop zones, so he's not going to gain the big boost, and being able to reset some of your energy is so much better. But we played against him round 1. He was also playing a Goku leader. He was playing the Double Strike Goku leader, the blue one. You take a card from your life, you gain Double Strike. And he was playing like really aggressive red, blue aggro. And most of his games don't go to past turn 3 as well, because our decks are just so aggressive. So when you play against a deck that's like yours, it's crazy. The only difference is his deck being red-blue, he couldn't keep up with the energy, and he was running stuff like Kaba and whatever. So his early game was a little more aggressive than mine, but once I got to turn 2 or 3, like, he just couldn't keep up. I guess there. We ended up 2-0ing him. Round 2, we played against a guy named Jacob. He's another cool dude. He was running Crit Vegeta, which Crit Vegeta is really annoying just because Crit by itself is annoying. Like, with double strike, it's like, sure, I'll take the damage because I get 2 cards. But with Crit, you're like, well, damn, I take the damage and I don't get a card. So you don't get that +1, so I'm usually like negating that or comboing out of that, and I'm like, fuck it, hit me with a double attack, I don't care. Just don't make me discard the card from my life. And against, we ended up 2-0ing him. His deck was aggressive, but it played slower than ours, and we ended up going past turn 4, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in turn 5, what do I do? Because I'm not used to that happening. And granted, that would be where I would drop the big-ass Vegito, the 8-drop, but I just didn't have it to play. I ended up 2-0ing him. That was some really close games, especially. What was crazy is game 2, he dropped 7-drop Beerus on me, and he baited me out too because he attacked me with the critical leader. I had 2 cards in hand. They were both Whis' Coercion, and I played 1 to stop the crit, and then he dropped that Beerus. That Beerus says I have to discard 2. If I can't, or if I won't, I lose all my battle cards and all my energy. So I literally lost everything. But I ended up managing to stay alive, and then the next turn, believe it or not, I was able to kill him. I can't remember what I played, but I was able to kill him because he was at 1 life as well. That was intense as shit. The fact that I pulled out of that is almost as crazy as me living the secret rare Super Saiyan Blue Ultimate Vegito in 2 different games. It's just crazy. And then round 3, I played against my buddy James Ponder, and of course he doesn't get to play a lot because he's usually the one running the events. And he was playing Cell, but he runs some blue stuff in it. Like he runs Sensu, he runs Whis' Coercion, he runs Manaka, and he runs Jocko. Or he main decks the Jocko, the combo, like you combo it for 5,000, and then you put a card in your opponent's combo area back into their hand. And then I think he side decked the Manakas against me, but Manaka didn't really hurt me. The only problem with his deck is like the Cell leader blowing up my stuff really hurt, and even like Perfect Force Cell really wasn't a threat to me. What hurt the most was probably the fact that he ran the new Time Patrol Trunks in the deck, and he ran the Masked Warrior, the Bardock, the 5-drop that says when he comes into play, you can send cards on your opponent's battle area up to like 5 energy total to the warp area. and he just does that when he comes into play. And since you play him with the Overrealm, you banish your drop zone to the warp area, and so you play him for free, and then he's got double strike, and it's like, well, not even the double strike hurt, just the fact that he was getting rid of my guys with that and with the Cell Eater, it just made it really hard to keep up. And I mean, our games got close, but in the end, like, I just couldn't keep enough cards. Not to mention, against him, I missed when I played Kind Saiyan Goku, and when I played Comrades Combined Goku. I never saw Goku with this one, and I never saw Vegito with Comrades. It was ridiculous. So, like, 3 different times in one game, those cards fizzled, and those 3 extra cards really could have helped, and I might have been able to push for game with them, but there's no way to tell. Anyways, so that's going to wrap up this deck profile here. If you guys like it, and I'm telling you, I had 2 different people that were like, they liked the deck so much during the tournament, they're like, hey, I'm probably going to build this. I'm probably just going to take this idea. And hell, one of them, he's already taken the Trunks idea, he's already taken the Goku Black, or the Android idea. He kind of took the Goku Black idea somewhat, but he just, it's like every deck we play with, we end up getting, you know, first or second, and then he's like, holy shit, I want to build that. This deck was a lot of fun. This was probably my favorite deck to play, as much as I hate to say it. Like, Trunks was fun. The fact that I went undefeated with it is great, but it's a slower game, because you're all about strategy and comboing and keeping massive card advantage in your hand. Where this, you go so hard by turn 3, you should have won the game. And it's really hard for your opponent to keep up with all that energy, you know, resetting and playing more cards. Androids is a really fun control game. It goes hard while having defensive stuff, plus I run Cell in there. And then Goku Black. Goku Black was fun too, but until you get to drop the Joyful Strike, it's not as fun. This deck, this is fun from the very get-go, except for when you don't get any Gokus or Vegetos with Kind Saiyan or Comrades Combined. That part really sucks. But if you guys like this, feel free to try it out. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Personally, I love the deck, and I'm so glad to be able to play a successful Vegito deck, because like I said, Vegito is my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters. It's still Trunks, to be honest. But hit that like button down below if you think this is a good deck, or if you like it, or if you want to try it yourself. Let me know, because I really like seeing what other people think about it, especially because I seem to do so well with these decks, and it, funny enough, I just end up throwing together the final build the day before a tournament and just going into it being like, well, we're just gonna do what we can. But I want to thank all of our subscribers and all of our viewers. You guys have been fantastic. We're at 126 last I checked, which means a lot to me. That's really awesome. We've come a good ways just in the past like couple weeks, and you guys have been killing it with the deck profiles, especially the Trunks deck profile and even the Android 17 deck profile. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this one too. I hope to see a lot of awesome feedback from you guys. But I've rambled on long enough. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.